Before I make my remarks, I was unaware that the woman here was the mother of the young boy that was tragically killed. And I'm very impressed as I sat there and saw her, how fresh she looked as a mother today and the two children. I was deeply impressed and totally unaware. The photo here.
Before you begin, how about your name for the record, Mr. Walsh?
What's that?
Your name for the record, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff Walsh, 34 Mayor Street.
Thank you.
This is years ago, and this is today. You see the difference? What a difference. This is what these young children look like. Up here, not down here. Last week I had the occasion to visit the Veterans Hospital. And as I was talking to the nurse, I had a moment of lapse of what I was talking about. And I jokingly said to her, I think I'm beginning to develop old-timer's disease. She said, no, you just have a medal for it. Took me off. I'd like to recognize Bob Kitlowski. He puts his life on the line multiple times in trying to keep our neighborhood safe. Yes, Bob can get out of control at times at these meetings. That can be attributed to the frustration he, along with others, experience with the lack of city leadership and restrictions. I too experience frustration at these meetings. I commend Bob for all his efforts. I also have great respect for our police officers, firemen, emergency personnel. Every time they put on their uniforms and leave their homes, they're putting their lives on the line for us, and I salute all of you. I want to personally thank Butch Frady for placing our nation's flag on South River and North River streets. Hopefully, the placement of other flags on Wilkes Barre Boulevard will soon be placed. Drew McClock may be able to address that later. Saturday we will be celebrating Armed Forces Day, and thereafter Memorial Day, Flag Day, and so on and so forth. We have to recognize these days. They mean something or they wouldn't be set aside. And I've said so many times before, one way of an open expression of that appreciation is the displaying of our nation's flag. Every home and every business should display the flag. We'll also mark the 70th anniversary of D-Day, also the 151st anniversary of Arlington National Cemetery. In May and June. Consider also the flag that inspired Francis Scott Key to write the Star-Spangled Banner during the siege of Fort McHenry during War of 1812. It marks the 200th anniversary. Public displays of patriotism are essential if the notion of remembering war dead is to be instilled in hearts and minds of all Americans. We must remember, spanning 239 years and some 62 military actions that have claimed 1.2 million lives. I strongly urge the mayor and city council to urge the local business community and residents to make a concerted effort to display our nation's flag, commemorating these sacred patriotic observances. Anything less is not acceptable. Councilwoman Lavelle, what has been done regarding your complaint of a property on Spring Street? Also, have you looked into the other properties in like condition? Is your concern of a personal nature? Isn't this Councilman Barrett's district? Why is he not involved? Also, Mr. Barrett, what are you doing toward protecting the Veterans Memorial Monument up in Parsons, which they just discussed earlier? Would you be able to answer?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let him finish it. I know you might have something else in your time is very limited, so if you want to, she'll answer when you're done.
Okay, I'm finishing.
Okay. Mrs. Lavelle?
Yes, the property in question, it was not the property itself that was the problem. There should have been a fine issued, and I was concerned that the fine was not issued. And as far as other properties in the city go, yes, I have been very active in reporting properties in the city, and many of them have come to a resolution. Some have not. But I'm very concerned about the properties in my own district as well as this whole city. We're elected in districts, but as far as I'm concerned, we represent the city of Wilkes Barre. And all the properties are of a concern to me.
But I've mentioned multiple properties, and I showed multiple pictures here a few weeks ago. Some 30 or 40 pictures. And you're concentrated on one property.
I concentrated on one property because I reported that property and it was not done to my satisfaction, so I continued to report it. And I do that with all the properties that I report. I follow up on every property that I report.
Can I ask you this, was that due to, because there was a personal factor involved?
No, it had nothing to do with the personal factor, but I know what you're referring to. I have a daughter that lives 2 doors away. That's what you're referring to.
Right.
Has nothing to do with the property. The property has been rehabilitated. My problem was that the owner did not get fined when he allowed somebody to move into the property. He should have been fined. That was the issue.
Was a concerted effort on to be put on the other
Mr. Walsh,
properties on the same street?
Mr. Walsh, I believe she answered that question. Do you have any other questions over there?
One has been done with all of the photos that I presented. I presented almost 50.
Okay.
What is being done with regards? Are they still laying in limbo?
If you want to get back to somebody from the administration, I know you gave them information and they can give you an assessment. We don't have the history on all of those properties immediately in front of us. We weren't expecting to.
I think common sense would just tell us. But those dilapidated properties will never be inhabited again. They're just going to rot away.
Yeah, there are numerous properties and the administration does have a list of those and they are.
And they should just be torn down and eliminated.
Right.
Because they decrease.
I totally agree with you. And as Mrs. Lavelle said, we routinely turn in problem properties, not only in our quote-unquote districts, but citywide, and work with the administration to do the best that we can. I would like to go in and turn them down as well, but they do actually belong to somebody. We just cannot go to somebody's property and tear their property down. No, just as we can't with yours.
They tend to depreciate the other people's property.
They do. I agree totally. I totally agree.
If they want to sell their home.
If you have some unresolved ones, if you let us know, or call Mr. Ryan tomorrow, give him the list, and he'll get you a block.
I wish they would report at these council meetings what has been done, what has been accomplished.
Well, we
Because
don't
nothing
have,
comes
we don't have
forward.
all the code enforcement records right here in front of us, but we can get you specific answers. If you do give us a call tomorrow, and they'll get you an answer on where we stand.
And I would strongly urge the city
Okay.
to appeal to the merchants and the citizens.
To the flag.
Start displaying our
You're
flag.
right. 100%. Thank you.
People say to me, write a letter to the editor.
Okay.
That doesn't have the same impact.
You're 100% right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.